If you can't seem to shift that stubborn belly fat and you're feeling stuck with your fitness, even though we're all swamped by super ripped guys online, stick around for a few minutes, and in this video I'll give you a brand new system with a unique blend of headspace tips and physical fixes to quickly and simply get you on the same track these guys walked. So let's get into it. I'm Ian Dowie, the online PT, not the old palace manager. And over the last 5 years, I've worked with hundreds of guys just like you. Guys who aren't in their 20s anymore, who aren't gym people and don't want to become gym people, but are sick of shirts feeling tight in all the wrong places. Sick of looking at guys with flat stomachs and wondering what's their secret. And who, in truth, just need to make a few easily achievable changes to get to where it feels so frustratingly out of reach just now. So the first thing we need to do is let your shoulders drop and take a big breath. You'd be amazed how often that helps just reset you a little bit. Now let's get you going in an exciting new direction. Something I've learned both from my work as a trainer and my own fitness journey is that when you're getting stuck and not losing weight, it's likely because you're actually trying to take on too much rather than doing too little. And even if you think this doesn't apply to you, let me explain a bit more and keep an open mind, because you might find this is just what you're missing. Think about everything we're told we need to do to get in shape and burn belly fat. I could go on, but you get the picture. And those are just a few elements that can form a part of a proper fitness routine. I spent years looking something like this, reading every issue of Men's Health, following every new workout plan I could get my hands on, and wrongly believing that if I could just find that final missing puzzle piece, I'd finally look in reality how I wanted to look in my head. And you know what? All that information is useful to me now, but only because I do this professionally. Back then, I was just getting increasingly pissed off that despite knowing all this stuff, I still didn't look like the guys on the cover of Men's Health. So here's my discovery that unblocked me and enabled me to make this change in how I look. Let me ask you this. Are you moments away from achieving peak physical condition at this very moment? Are you on the sharp end of looking like you're ready for Love Island or a Mr. Universe bodybuilding stage? Versus, are you just trying to lose a bit of weight so you feel better in your clothes? Because if you haven't yet managed to drop 1 or 2 pounds a week for a few weeks on the spin in a way that feels like you can keep going, not like you're about ready to dive headfirst into a chocolate fountain, this means you're still at the beginning stages, which is something that took me years to get through my head. I wasn't as advanced and unique as I told myself I was. So I was trying to copy workout plans from these guys when what I actually needed was a whole different blueprint. Think about this. If your Ford Mondeo needs a service, do you take it to an F1 pit lane? Because that F1 pit lane is so completely wrong for what that car needs. And it has no extra benefit, but a ton of extra cost. But that's what I was doing. Wrongly believing my body was an F1 car. And in fact, I eventually did much better burning belly fat, and way faster too, when I switched to this easy, simple system like what I'm about to give you. That's a mindset shift you can make today and take some of the pressure off. You might be expecting yourself, even subconsciously, to nail all of this stuff while you're still trying to figure out how to fit exercise into your life consistently for the first time in years. And a lot of blokes fall into this trap. And I don't mean fall into it just once. I've even done it again this year. I mean, I'm literally Mr. Fitness. So I'd really better put my head down and do 4 or 5 1 hour or 90-minute sessions a week, right? Because that's what's expected of me. Or so I was telling myself. I soon found out that being busier in my business than I was a few years ago, plus being older, made the whole fitness kick feel like a gigantic ordeal and a chore. I soon found myself with an injured elbow, and they're having an excuse to postpone the diet, I knocked it on the head. It wasn't until last month that I started slowly increasing my workouts and slowly decreasing my food that I've been able to comfortably stick with this simpler plan. And wouldn't you know it, I've lost 4 kilos. Think about it this way. If you had a mate who told you that he was going to start getting in shape and he'd been to the gym a couple of times, would you expect him to have every single little aspect of all this gym stuff sorted? Would you suggest that he stop going until he's got the perfect meal plan and the perfect workout routine? Probably not. Or you are a dreadful friend. You'd encourage him to just keep going and not worry about all that small stuff until later. Fitness can be a huge amount to balance and organise and remember and implement and all that while you're trying to fit this self-care into your existing schedule. It might not always seem like it, but you're asking too much of yourself if you expect to handle all of this extra with no issues whilst maintaining consistent motivation and progress. So if you wouldn't treat your friend this way, why do you treat yourself this way? All those things, that great long list of requirements for proper fitness, individually they can be important, but it's just not possible to suddenly jam them all into your schedule. It's not like you can take a few weeks off work just to sort out your new workout schedule and batch cooking routine, is it? But luckily, this is contained within the exact basis and definition of progressive training, as in training that progressively gets harder over time, just like how you've gotten better at everything that you are currently good at. The fittest people you know all started somewhere. They all had setbacks, they all skipped workouts, they had dodgy form, they didn't know what they were doing. Nobody starts out perfect. So for now, we can put all of that pile of stuff down and have our singular focus be on getting the basic routine established. Simple enough in theory, but how do you actually do that? I mentioned a more practical approach, so let's follow a few quick steps now to speed ourselves up and unburden some of that stress and motivation. Step 1 is to answer the question, what does fitness mean to you? Don't overthink it. What's the first thing you thought of? Where did your mind go? That might be a great place to start. Let's go through a couple of examples to demonstrate. So Tom had tried many different diets where he cut out different foods that he enjoyed, but somehow he was never able to stick to those diets for long enough to see much of a change in the mirror. But to him, fitness meant being able to look and feel good without constantly having to think or worry about food all the time. For some guys I work with, they say fitness is all about having the energy to play with their kids. For a significant number, it's about being able to see their in the shower again. But we'll come back to this point in a moment. For me personally, when I started, it was about being like the characters in the action movies I used to watch because I thought it'd make girls like me, but they couldn't care less. Does what I'm doing get me closer towards or further away from my fitness goal? As we build your routine, your sole responsibility is to keep that in your brain. If you're deciding whether to go to the gym after work, you're not thinking, do I have the perfect workout plan? Should I use a treadmill? Should I use a stepper? Is my form good enough? Should I be doing compound exercises or machines? Should I do upper body? Should I train my legs? Am I eating enough protein today? You're just thinking, does going to the gym today serve my goal? This means that instead of having to worry about trying to optimize a million different things, you can instead focus on the one thing. And I know that this is something of a leap of faith that I'm asking you to take here by forgetting all of that other admittedly important stuff. But if you're still here with me watching this, I'll bet good money it's because you've tried those other more complicated, difficult and generic ideas before, and since they haven't worked like you want them to, what is wrong with trying this here new and simple system instead? And you might be thinking, yeah, that's all well and good, mate, but the rest of that stuff still matters. I'm still going to have to make sure I get my nutrition right and my workouts good, and that I'm making actual progress, right? Absolutely. And I have actually got something to help make all of that easier, which you can grab for free via the link below. Look, it's hard enough burning stubborn belly fat. If it wasn't, you wouldn't still be watching this and everyone down the high street would be king of the rigs. So we're going to simplify everything as much as possible without making it worthless. All that optimizing and fine tuning, that's a problem for future you, not your job today. Now, your brain's going to fight you on this. You're going to be mid-workout and suddenly think, oh my God, should I be doing Bulgarian split squats instead of leg extensions? When that happens, you probably can't just block out that little voice in your head. So instead of trying and failing to ignore it, just dump the thought in a note on your phone. I get guys to create a folder called Future Fitness Stuff, because this will work to allow your brain to feel that idea, that obstacle has been dealt with. So you'll be able to carry on without disrupting the tried and true method you'll now be pursuing. If you see a workout tip on Instagram, screenshot it, save it in the for later folder. If you've got a question about when you should eat your meals and does it matter if you have carbs after 6 p.m, chuck it in that folder. Then forget about it and get back on with your schedule. After a few months of following this simple new system, you'll know your body better and you can revisit all that stuff you saved with fresh eyes. Possibly then adding in the things that are still interesting to you and deleting all the stuff that only held your interest for a moment or two. Although you might now be so pleased with the changes that you're seeing in the mirror and the compliments you're getting from the other half that you're not bothered about trying these unproven and untested gimmicks any longer. The point of this approach is you're acknowledging and recording all those thoughts because some of them might be valid and useful later, but you're not just keeping hold of them in your head or trying to implement them all at once. The point of these mindset shifts and practical suggestions is to unburden yourself so your mind has more space in which to build the habit and to silence the influence of the self-doubt and perfectionism that we often don't even realise is going on. Give yourself permission to start a fitness routine that doesn't meet all of the expectations of everyone on the internet. It's okay to be shit at something you're new to, even something which you're already impatient to sort out. So thanks a lot if you've reached this point in the video. Not everybody does, so I really appreciate you sticking around. And to give you a tangible thank you for lasting this long, I've created a free See Your Again diet plan. That quickly and simply helps you dial into exactly what you need to do to burn belly fat, just like these guys did. This system is not for wannabe oiled up bodybuilders who want to strut around on stage in their Speedos, but has been created specifically following the most exciting milestone the lads buzz about to me when they reach, which is seeing the old boy in the shower again. So to grab your free copy today, just hit the link below in the description now and I'll fire it over to you. Cheers.